Thank you very much, Professor. Hello, dear Minister, dear Secretary General, dear Vice Governors. First of all, I would like to welcome in the AgriBusiness Forum. Thank you very much for responding to our invitation. I would like to thank your team. But since we are almost out of time, and I think that the speakers have mentioned the basic points, I want to start from the last point that you have mentioned. As chair of the Environmental Protection Committee, I have talked with Mr. Rector, the president of Hellenic. I'm really pleased about mentioning this topic here, how to tackle the climate crisis and how to protect the agricultural production of our country, which is the only one that can secure our food safety. It is very important. So, on behalf of our committee, I would like to mention the preventive measures that you have said. Since Greece should take even more measures, both on a public and on a private level. I think that this is where we lack, and I think that we should focus there. And if we combine that with a recent environmental law, the first environmental law of this country, which mentions the adaptation measures, I'm talking about the adaptation that the agricultural industry should make, and we should combine it with the resilience of our ecosystems, our agricultural ecosystems included not only on a regional level with the regional adaptation and resilience plans against climate change, but also on a national level with a new strategy. And since the minister is here, I think that we should discuss it even deeper, about resilience and adaptation, and about the extra funding that Greece should ask along other countries of the Southern Europe from the European Commission, and utilizing the financing tools for climate. So that means that we should ask for extra funding, and of course to start discussing insurance in the country. This is something that we started discussing it in the recent environmental law, but we did not continue it as far as we should. So it is necessary, and not only for the economy of our country, but also for the food security in an era where this issue is rather critical due to the war of Russia against Ukraine. Greece and Italy, which is a paradise for farmers, should protect the agricultural production. Now we are in Ilia, and let me tell you that Ilia is a blessed land, if you wish. It is the second largest plain field of the Greece. We have excellent production, and it is very important, and 80% of the income of the local population comes from the agricultural production. Therefore, I would like to welcome AgriBusiness Forum once more. It is our pleasure to have you here with us. We want you to help us intensify these sustainable practices, to have more income, to use new technologies and help young farmers. And of course, attract investments mainly on the manufacture and export efforts. I just want to mention our raisin, which right now cannot be used, and I know that the local economy should do a step further. Therefore, before saying some basic points on behalf of the Environmental Protection Committee, I would like to ask businesses who participate at this forum to invest in Ilia as well. So let me tell you that which is the great message from Stockholm, the Stockholm of 50 years. Yesterday and today celebrated the 50 years from the first environmental discussion that took place in 1972, and today in 2022 humanity faces the same issues and the same challenges. Those of us who work on environmental issues, we have read the book Silent Spring, one of the books that made us understood that the agricultural development with the use of chemical products affects the environment. Since we know that a professor of chemistry wake up and heard not one voice, no bees, no insects, and she asked herself, if this planet can move forward towards this direction, what will happen with pollination? What about the local biodiversity? What about new varieties? So she said that the main issue nowadays is the agricultural production. So from that day till today we have started this dialogue that goes hand to hand with the environmental protection and the protection of biodiversity and forests with the agricultural production. And this dialogue has brought about some results, but not necessarily effective results. So nowadays we want to use less pesticides, less chemical products to be able to protect the health of our farmlands and at the same time the health of the population. We know that the UN has this issue, One Health, this program, because we all interact with each other, so human health is based on the health of this planet. Therefore we should be very careful on what we use. Greece and other states are against genetically modified organisms because they also affect the environment. Nevertheless, we have consensus regarding the fact that with the right management, soil management, which also is sometimes has desertification, and with the right forest management, with the right energy management, and with a good water management, we can increase our yield and at the same time protect the environment. Therefore, there is a range of issues that right now are at stake, and the European Union and the international community try to regulate them with the best possible way. So towards this direction, towards the new regulatory framework, not on a European but also on international level, we call upon all stakeholders of the public and private sector to bring their proposals in order to have the best possible legislatory framework. Stockholm sends us this message that all stakeholders wish for regulations, but those regulations should express the interests of all the stakeholders. I don't want to repeat what we have already heard by the previous speakers about the new tools of the common agricultural policy. However, I would like to put emphasis on one or two issues from the European Union, mainly on the Next Generation EU, which is the financing framework that we have and which gives us much more money than we used to have with a common agricultural policy. I would like to mention, of course, the European Green Deal and the EU Rural Action Plan, which has as a goal to make agricultural regions more resilient and more prosperous, and the other measures that are related to agricultural innovation, agricultural community and social innovation, because this is also important. Social innovation is also important, not only technological innovation. And last but not least, I want to focus on the fact that all these issues that are open for discussion right now can be funded by the Resilience and Development Fund, which gives more than 38% of the total budget for energy, environment and agricultural production issues. So our agenda can receive funding. Our agenda can receive funding not only with loans but also with direct fundings, subsidies that should not be returned. So farmers should utilize them in order to be able to produce biodynamic organic products, and of course young farmers. And last but not least, I want to say the following, that the Environmental Protection Committee, we are taking two very important initiatives regarding the agricultural production. The first initiative, in collaboration with the European Parliament, is about funding a methane fund. The agricultural sector is one of the three sectors, along with waste management and energy, that produces methane. The second most harmful emission after carbon, and therefore we should be careful, but we need important technological innovation and funding. So the Hellenic Parliament and the Hellenic European MPs have proposed the creation of this fund. And the second issue is about the recycling of agricultural plastics, because this is a very important problem when the production is not well regulated. The plastics. Therefore, we have invited a very important innovation by the Imperial College of London, and we want to create the first pilot program for the creation of self-recycling plastic that at the end of its life cycle is absorbed by the soil without leaving any waste. Therefore, we want to find solutions to the problems, and I am very optimistic that we will be able to make it. Welcome to Ilia, thank you very much.